Carrion is a beautiful game. Here at Sapphire we make graphics cards, and as a result the vast majority of the content on this YouTube channel focuses on the latest and greatest big budget AAA releases with their shiny 3D graphics and cinematic direction. And yet, here I am, as the rest of the world seems hyper focused on the upcoming next generation, I'm here totally nerding out on a 2D retro pixel art inspired reverse horror game, primarily for its presentation. That's not to say that the gameplay isn't fantastic, because it is. It's mainly made up of a mix of environmental puzzle solving, stealth and fast fiddly combat. It's a Metroidvania by design, meaning that your progression is limited by your abilities. You're going to be doing a fair amount of backtracking in order to locate additional biomass containers that grant you new abilities or upgrade the ones that you've already got. There's a reasonable amount of gameplay variation here, at least at first, giving you the impression that you've got a bunch of diverse options for tackling problems, especially when it comes to combat encounters. However, I have to admit, the further that you get into the game, the more rigid the solutions appear to be, but thankfully the game does introduce new obstacles and abilities at a fairly decent pace, so you're unlikely to get bored of a specific mechanic before there's something new and shiny that takes its place. In Carrion, you play as a monstrous organic mass of rotting flesh that spills its way through the environment using tentacle-like appendages. Its amorphous body allows it to tightly contort itself into narrow spaces, giving you access to routes that cannot be traversed by humans, allowing you to stalk your prey before quickly striking to either pick off a single enemy or attempting to steamroll an entire room. It honestly all feels very satisfying. I believe that a big chunk of the reason why it feels so satisfying comes down to the game's presentation. Every single aspect of the game, from the humans and the monster and the environment and the props, feels firmly placed into the world. Even the special effects render flawlessly, giving an extra layer of depth to each frame. Not to mention that the entire pipeline appears to be rendered out to a predefined native resolution and then blown up to fill the screen using integer scaling, resulting in perfectly defined pixels, which properly sells the retro pixel art aesthetic while completely surpassing what I thought would have been possible using this style. It's incredibly impressive and something that has to be seen running in real time to be truly appreciated. Put simply, even if you're watching this on a 1440p monitor with a locked 60 or 120Hz refresh rate and with the video set to 1440p 60fps, YouTube is still not going to do this game justice. The bitrate is simply too low and the compression too great. I'm not even going to pretend that I fully understand how the developers managed to pull off these visuals. I can only assume that the game is just as, if not more so, impressive on a technical front as it is on an artistic one. Watching the monster traverse the environment by firing out tentacles that grasp nearby surfaces, propelling it forward in a way that looks eerily organic, is mesmerizing. And then you start to notice just how dynamic many of the environmental props are. Chains, wires and tape react just as you'd expect when disturbed. The surface on pools of water distorts and ripples. Freestanding equipment can be destroyed, often resulting in a bunch of particles bouncing around the room. Light sources exhibit a kind of subtle bloom-like effect, further adding contrast to anything within their range of influence. The stream of fire from flamethrowers not only looks awesome, but it also illuminates an area while also filling it full of smoke. Blood from the monster and its victims is left smeared across pretty much every surface. It's all excellent, a true masterclass on how to craft a believable 2D game world that gives the player a feeling of presence. What's most impressive, however, is that all this is achieved while still enabling us to pump out an average frame rate of around 1200 FPS, and that's with our GPU usage below 50% due to CPU limitations. I can't overstate just how impressive this is. The developers have done such a good job in terms of optimization that pretty much most PC hardware should have little problem running it at a decent resolution and frame rate. As it stands today, you can pick up Carrion for around $20 on either Steam or GOG, and it's also available as part of Microsoft Xbox Game Pass for PC, which is how I personally played it. Value wise, I've got no issue in recommending Carrion, though I do want you to be aware that there's basically zero replay value and the game is only going to take you around 4 hours to complete, so do please keep that in mind. With that said, if you've made it this far into the video, then maybe you'd be interested in slapping that subscribe button and dinging our little bell if you've not done so already. Doing so will make sure that you get notified each time we upload a new video. If you've liked this video, then you can leave us a like, and if you've disliked it, there's a button for that too, and all we ask is that you please let us know why you've disliked it so we can try and improve in future. If you've got any questions, suggestions or feedback, you can leave it in a comment in the comment section down below. And finally, I'd just like to say a big thank you from myself and everybody here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. I have been Pixel, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll catch you later, bye bye.